Greetings. We are pleased to be here in this time and place, and we are indeed wanting you to experience all that you can in this moment. And what we are doing here at this moment is giving you confirmation that you are magnificent beings here, and that on this planet you have chosen to come at this time. And what is happening with humanity at this moment is certainly an evolvement. Have you felt this before? Indeed. And what we want to share with you is this, is that you are doing it all right. That when you talk in duality of right and wrong and good and bad and left and right, it gives you a sense of separation. And by the simple fact of you becoming physical and non-physical experience is a duality, is it not? Yes, indeed. Therefore, sometimes it is hard to wrap your brain around being wholly complete with being unity, with having oneness, with connecting to a one unit as opposed to a diverse experience. In other words, when you have duality, it explains light and dark. And as this one was saying before, is that when you are non-physical, there is only light. And when you come into the body, it actually creates sense of duality. And what human beings are becoming evolving into at this moment is more of the unity. And many human beings are not able to hold that vibration, and what they do is they leave and they go to the non-dimensional realm again so that they can support from that God, from beyond the veil. And what we want to share with all of you at this moment is that you are doing it right, and that all comes to you in the moment that you seek. In other words, as long as you are creating a symphony, what we have shared with many in the few moments that we have been here, is that you are creating a symphony, that you are creating harmony over chaos. In other words, this one talks about plucking heartstrings, and that is from us wanting to share with you again that while you were in a relationship, when you are bumping up against each other, that you are plucking each other's heartstrings, that you are creating a symphony. And oftentimes when you are building a symphony, there is cacophony, there is sometimes contrast, if you will, there is chaos, and it is creating something of beauty as long as you continue to write your symphony. In other words, sometimes it takes a while for you to align, for you to be able to embrace each other's differences. And once you embrace each other's differences, then it all falls into a grid. It falls into a shape. It falls into a symphony of beautiful harmony. However, sometimes it takes a while from your time perspective here on this planet. And what is happening with you in a macrocosm and with you in a microcosm is that you are creating harmony, and all the time it doesn't feel like harmony, does it? No. And what is happening while is you are being led to create, you're being led to experience, and oftentimes those experiences do not feel good. And what we're here to tell you again is, we will say it more than once, because what we have found is that sometimes you have to be reminded that you are magnificent beings and that you are doing it right. And do not be afraid of what you are creating. Do not be afraid of things not turning out the way you want it to. Do not be afraid that it is too late. Do not be afraid that you will never be able to experience what you can. Because you are driving the lights. You are the ones driving the lights. And everyone is driving their own bus. So when you bump up against someone that is not giving you what you want, or allowing you to be expressing yourself fully, or showing you ways of perhaps creating disharmony as opposed to harmony, what we want to say around that is just realize that sometimes that is what it takes. In other words, you have to strike the match over and over sometimes before it lights. And your light is lit, and oftentimes we understand that you forget that you have a pilot light, and oftentimes your light feeling dim. And what we want you to know is that all you have to do is turn your light up, is to slowly turn your light up in the pilot one. And that is your lightness, that is your sacred spirit. That is your creation. That is your desire. Therefore, once you turn your pilot light up, your desires become bigger and bigger. And many of you have dimmed your light, have you not? And what we want you to hear is this, is that you have a light and it never goes out. And all you have to do is turn the knob to bringing it lighter and lighter. You see, because when you all do this together, it creates a force that is brighter than anything you can imagine.